that this is not happening by chance. I believe these things are happening purposely, and I think that this government is allowing these things to happen, and in many cases causing them to happen purposely according to a plan. There is something called dialectics, Hegelian dialectics, we can get into later, but the whole idea is to cause people to be frightened, and in order to frighten people, a frightened and fearful people will do things for you. They will submit to you if they're sufficiently frightened. And so the governmental context of what I'm saying is that the government of this country wants people to be frightened. That's why they're continually turning criminals back out into the streets. They go in, they kill 15 people in a McDonald's. They get a $250 fine and a 3 years in jail, which is then when we find out what actually happened, they got 1 year, and the fine was commuted, and so they're back on the streets. They're turning murderers back onto the streets. There is no doubt in my mind that it is not because of loss of space, or they don't have the space for the criminals. They got space for you if you don't pay your taxes. The point is that they do not want. They want as much chaos in society as possible. It's a very simple. The World Health Organization came out a long time ago, and since then the FBI has concluded the same thing, that the truly criminal element in America is less than 1% of the total population of America are truly criminal element. 1% or less are the murderers, are the real serious criminals. Logic alone would tell you that if you put those people in jail or you put them to death, you don't have any more serious crime. Now what? Now you have very little need for the police department. You have very little need. The people now have more time to think about things. They don't have to worry about their children. They don't have to worry about their family. They don't have to worry about crime in the streets. Consequently, they can concentrate now on who's running this government, how fair are the equitable are the laws, and so therefore it's better to keep people occupied. We've known that for a long time. That's why politics is called political science. There is a method to controlling people. Politics is referred to as political science. It's a science. If you can keep people organized, keep people disorganized, frightened, fearful, broke, that's another thing. They want to keep you financially in a hole. Then people are subservient to you. You do not want people to become self-sufficient and have enough money that they don't have to listen to you. You need crime, and you'll see why. And I'll show you today why you need a lot of crime. You need to let criminals back out into the streets. They talk about something. If you think about the logic behind these rules and behind these new laws we have, it's absolutely insanity. A criminal goes out, he kills somebody, what do? They take the gun away from the criminal and they let the criminal go free. Then they say that there's just a proliferation of crime. We can't do anything about this crime that's out of control, the drug trafficking and all the killings going on and the gangs killing each other. But the point is that if you don't pay your income tax, or if you do something that's against the government, in the system of things, if you get out of line, they will find you. The IRS will find you if you don't pay your income tax. You can go into the Amazon jungles, and they will come down there looking for you. And if they have to spend $7 million, they're going to find you, and they're going to bring you back here and make an example out of you. So if they have the power. This is the most powerful military nation on the face of the earth ever devised by men. This nation is the most powerful military combine on earth. It has always been. And if you think about the time back in, 50 years ago in 1940, when the United States was a very infantile country, it didn't have all of the high technology it has today, and just within a couple of short years, it got its stuff together and was able to meet Adolf Hitler on the field of battle throughout the world, and was able to do a battle with the whole Nazi empire. But they can't do anything about the drugs in Pacoima. The problem is that they have total control over everything. So anytime you see things going on, just understand that the powers that be in this government want it that way. Franklin Roosevelt, probably most of you don't remember who he was. He was one of the presidents. Franklin Roosevelt made a statement publicly that I think is very important. He said that anytime you see anything happen in politics, you better understand it was planned that way. So anything that's going on in this country that you see that sounds crazy and lunacy, it's crazy and lunacy to you. But to those guys who are doing it, they know what they're doing. There is a method to the madness. I want to show you, and I think it'd be better if I just go on and begin with the slides, because I have so many of them, and I'll just stop and comment as we're going. Are we going to be able to... Well, I don't know. Let's see. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. On the dollar bill, you'll see on the back of the dollar bill, you'll see the symbol on the left-hand side of the bill, which is annuit coeptus, which means our enterprise is now a success, or our enterprise is crowned with success. Annuit coeptus. So you say, fine, so you have an enterprise and is now crowned with success. What enterprise are you talking about? Novas ordo seclorum. Novas is novus, meaning new. Ordo is order, and seclorum is where we get the word secular, meaning the world. So it's new order of the world, the new world order. George Bush's new world order is now a success. But the problem is this was put on the dollar bill back in 1934. 1934 is when the Federal Reserve actually finally took total control of the United States monetary system, and that's when they said it is now a success, because this is a symbol. This is an emblem of a secret society of Freemasons called the Illuminati, the German Bavarian Illuminati. They were a secret society founded in the south of Germany. They were called the Illuminati, the illuminated ones, the enlightened ones. They they connected themselves to another group of Freemasons in France, in the south of France, referred to as the Pierre de Sion, French Grand Orient Temple Masons. And so this symbol today, while it's on the back of a $1 bill, it is also incidentally on a document in the British Museum and in the Louvre Museum. Both have some of the original writings of that sect of Freemasons in Germany that are today on display. And on one of the documents, it has that exact symbol, annuit coeptus, novus ordo seclorum, and that was in 1774 that the Bavarian Illuminati drew up their plans for what they were going to do in America and how they were going to do it. And that's not a new. That's not just from 1934. That goes all the way back to 1774, 1775. It's a symbol of a secret society. The triangle at the top with the light emanating from around it is Horus. The god of the ancient Egyptians, of course, is an Egyptian pyramid. You don't find pyramids in America. You find them in Egypt. And that pyramid is the symbol of the eye, was in the Egyptian religion Horus, which was the newborn sun. Every morning when the sun came up, his name was Horus. There was that was the solar divinity in Egypt. Horus was God's son, the light of the world, who is risen. He is our risen Savior, our risen. And so Horus was referred to as God's son, and that's why the light is emanating from around, because it's the sun. The sun is a round eyeball of God, the ancient Egyptians believed. The pupil of God was the sun, and he's watching you. And therefore, the sun was very bright. And so today we even say someone who is extremely intelligent is brilliant. They're bright. And that's why God is, of course, the most brilliant of all. Therefore, the sun is the most brilliant because it's God's eye. All right, anyway, there are 13 layers on the pyramid. And the 1776 at the bottom is 1776. A lot of people think it's because of the country being founded in 1776. It has nothing to do with that. As I said, this is on a document published back in 1774, 75, and then in 1776 the Roman numerals appeared on it in Europe. So what it amounted to is that the 1776 was when this secret society actually formed itself into a secret society and put itself into operation. Like any other secret society or fraternal order, there's a few years in the formative stages. And then there's a time when they actually get a charter and come together and actually become an actual organization. and then they get a charter from the government, and they actually are a legal organization. They were in operation in the 1760s, 1770s, but it wasn't until 1776 that they actually made themselves into a coherent order, and it was called the Order and Sect of the Illuminati.